Umkomaas Canoe Marathon, a 70-kilometre endurance race held over 2 days for K1 and K2 canoes. The start on day one, with 168 canoes entered, there was the usual chaos of boats and people at the start. The start was a staggered affair, with the top 30 canoeists setting off first. 15 minutes later, the second wave started. It's staggered for a very good reason. The first and most difficult rapid is a bottleneck.
Conditions are very, very tricky today. The river's low, the rocks are right there. It's going to be a very, very tricky race. It's going to be good racing. There are a lot of top crews out there, 4 or 5 boats going for a win. And yeah, I think the river, it's those that get through to number 8 in one piece. The race will start from number 8 with whoever's left in the race.
Rapid number 1 separates the men from the boys right at the start. Last year's winner Robbie Herefeld with partner Graham Monteith managed to squeeze through first, gaining the vital hole shot on this difficult rapid and an early advantage. Graham Bird and Alan van Coller come through unscathed, but the Edmund brothers lose their boat and swim the rapid, getting battered in the process. Surviving this rapid depends on focused concentration and timing. Once committed to the rapid, there's no second chance. Some are lucky, others are not. Rapid 1 claimed some early victims. They're out of the race, whilst some sustained some more serious injuries.
Try and get a stitch or two and maybe start in a later batch.
Disaster for Travis Wilkinson, who gets pinned on a rock. He's rescued, airlifted to hospital and escapes with his life and 50 stitches in his leg. The rescue cost the camera team time, and we managed to catch the leaders several rapids later. Fighting it out in front, Robbie Herefeld and Graham Monteith and Neil Evans and Mark Perrow, whilst Bird and Van Coller and Simpkins and von Mansberg are in 3rd and 4th. With the river running low, the Umkomaas was a bony course, making some of the rapids more than a little treacherous. In the Umko 98 for the 21st year, Dave Biggs teamed up with his brother Tim. Dave farms in Sutherland near Kopo. We took time out to meet the man and his sporting family.
I run a nursery and do some farming as well, and it's a very interesting line. It's very challenging, takes a lot of our time, it's a lot of attention to detail. We grow mainly vegetable and forestry seedlings on contract for farmers, and I do wish I had more time for canoeing, but it's certainly keeps us busy, and we enjoy it. The Umkomaas is definitely my favourite river. I've done a lot of rivers, but that definitely is my favourite river, and Umkomaas Marathon, very, very special. This is my 21st, I think, and they certainly bring back a lot of memories. We've had full years, we've had low years, I've had a lot of blisters. The venue has changed quite a bit, but it's a really great race. Cheryl, my wife, is very understanding. She knows I love my paddling, and she lets us go off on weekends and odd hours, get back quite late in the evenings, and we've had a lot of support. It's going to be fun this year. I'm doing it with Tim, my brother. We're going to be paddling doubles together. I normally paddle singles, and I'm looking forward to it. Tim's had a lot of experience. He's done a lot of expeditions. He's paddled in the Himalayas, in the Congo, in Alaska, and a lot of rivers in South America.
Yes, well, for the first time David actually asked me to paddle with him. But we've always paddled singles, and we've done a lot of tripping together. So, yeah, it's quite a special event for me that we can be paddling together. David's a fantastic paddler. He knows the river. I don't know anybody who knows that section of river in the Umkomaas better than he does. And he's taught me a lot about paddling. But he's a guy that never gives up, and he's really a hard paddler.
It's been a great sport. It's been a sport that's opened up a lot of doors and given us a great amount of fun and pleasure.
Up front at a rapid called the Chute, Monteith and Herefeld and Perrow and Evans are simply sticking together, saving the main racing for day 2. The Edmund brothers back in their canoe pass an abandoned boat. Impossible to move, but as a rule it's usually stripped of any of its cables. The chute is a narrow section of the Umkomaas, fast-flowing with the full energy of the river concentrated in a couple of 100 meters. With the river so low, the rapid proved tricky. Graham, Tweety, Bird and Alan van Cola are struggling to hold on to third place. They've been battling with faulty seat pins which have had to be adjusted. This has cost them valuable time. Temperatures have soared to a whopping 50 Celsius in the valley, making it very uncomfortable. This was rough on the back markers, who took about 8 hours to finish. The K2 of Monteith and Herefeld fight hard against Evans and Perrault as they near Josephine's Bridge at the end of the first day. Bird and van Cola, both training for the World Champs in Cape Town, settle for third place at this point. Just after the bridge, there's a tricky section negotiated well by Mark Perrault before the sprint to the finish line.
Keep it steady. Nice them. Back on their tail.
Monteith and Herefeld just managed to clinch the win with Evans and Perrault in a very close second.
We're comfortable having Mark and Neil there as opposed to some other boats, and it might well come down to right at the end.
Having had a rough day on the water in the heat, the day's work was not done, as pretty much all of the canoes in the race needed some attention and repair work. Then it was time out for a well-deserved supper break and the chance to reflect on the day's race. We'll be back later in the program with all the endurance action from day 2. River for day 2 of this grueling race, the 1998 Kailua Umkomaas Canoe Marathon. Following the scorching temperatures of day 1, the overcast conditions of the second day were a relief, and to beat the heat, the race was scheduled to start at 7:30. The previous day's backmarkers and slower paddlers were sent off first, followed by day 1's winners and then the rest of the field. Herefeld and Perrault start their battle with a sprint, trying to gain an early advantage. Day 2 is easier on the competitors, with more chance to take in the spectacular scenery on the Umkomaas, with easier rapids and more paddling being the order of the day. Tim and Dave Biggs are amongst the first of the early starters to hit the first rapid, and there are some tense moments as the rest of the field piles through. Colin Simpkins and Richard von Mansberg, currently holding 4th spot, put the chase on Bird and van Cola just up ahead. Monteith and Herefeld have the lead, but Perrault and Evans are right on their tail. They'll have to stay there as Herefeld is an experienced paddler. Known as the King of the Berg River, he's very strong. But Evans and Perrault, who were placed second on this year's doozy, are determined not to fall too far behind, and they manage to keep pace with the leaders. Perrault has come out of retirement to do the Umko, and as a former Springbok canoe captain, he'll know what has to be done.
Okay, let's go. That's enough.
Still in contention, Bird and van Cola and Simpkins and von Mansberg are not far behind. With a long way still to go, the lead switches regularly, with neither of the first 2 crews able to make a significant break. Further back and holding 5th place, Haycock and Bartho are out of contention for the race. At the halfway mark, with the battle for first intense, the lead group on a flat section of the river are hardly concerned about passing the ruins of Cecil John Rhodes's cottage on the right. Getting to one of the more difficult sections of day 2, several channels at this stage make skill at reading the conditions paramount. Some got it right, whilst others opted to walk. One of the few female K1 canoeists picks her channel just right, but there's more to come, with the finish seeming a long way off. The calm of this flat water section belies what is still to come. final tricky spot is negotiating a rapid called the T-junction. Here, the river rushes straight onto a solid rock wall. The right line is crucial. Herefeld allows Perro to go through first so he can steal his line and hopefully retake the lead. It's a calculated risk. Bird and Funkola make their approach, whilst one of the sweepers, there to ensure the safety of the field and to pick up the pieces, plays in the rapids. Bird makes it through without a problem. So do Simpkins and von Mansberg, who are falling off the pace. They need to consolidate their fourth place now. Finally, a couple of kilometers from the finish and the lead pack enters a very bony part of the river. Herefeld's tactic at the T-junction has paid off, and he's able to open up a lead on Perro. Winner of the 97 Cello race in Spain, Daniel Conradi, here teamed up with Kevin White, makes his way down the river. For some, even the flat water's a challenge for tired arms and battered bodies. The locals having fun in the river as well. We head back up to the leaders now, and Robbie Herefeld takes us through the rapids.
Let's hope this goes without mishap. This is the last one. To get through this, we should be fine. Yes, sir.
Robbie and Graham talking their way through the last rapid and consolidating on their lead. Herefeld and Monteith will know that Perro and Evans are not far off the pace and will be chasing hard to make up the gap. But Monteith and Herefeld managed to save off the attack on their lead. They defend their title successfully, winning the 1998 Kailua Umkomaas Canoe Marathon. Behind them in second, Evans and Perot take the line, ending off another classic year on the Umko.